Alright, what's good, YouTube? We got a little reaction content for y'all today. We're reacting to Jubilee, skinny versus fat. We got little characters in this video. We got, Myron from the Unfresh and Unfit podcast. I got booted off of YouTube and shit like that. So, yeah, I feel like I'm qualified to speak on this type of argument because, what I'm saying? Insert workout picture here, insert workout picture here. I feel like I'm qualified to, speak in this type of discussion. This is a discussion I can get behind. You know what I mean? So, we're going to get into it. This might be a two-parter because it's like an hour long. So, yeah, it's going to be a two-parter. So, him right here, I watched some of his videos when he talks about, steroid usage and all that because I've been for a long time considering, maybe taking little steroids in the future, you know what I mean? Maybe competing at one point. I'm pretty fit. I feel like steroids could bring me to the next level because I'm, 19, only 150 pounds, and I'm almost benching 3 plates. So, I'm benching like 275 right now. So, I've always thought about taking steroids at one point. Now, I don't know who the hell this nigga is right here, but, I've seen videos from him, kind of, and I think everyone knows about who the fuck this nigga is. You know what I mean? Like, he's just, I don't know, he's just annoying. And then like his content is just really like berating women on the podcast, degrading them, all that. I don't personally fuck with that. I think only people that view him are people that have a certain disdain towards women and all that. But we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna stop, yapping and all that. Everyone on this side, I don't know if they're influencers. They made sure to get influencers for this whole side, but I don't think any of them are influencers. But yeah.
Do you think just being in a fat body and being in the public space encourages obesity?
Yes.
Shame is what led me to an eating disorder.
I don't
Whose
believe
When
fault is that,
what
though?
we're looking for is
Whose fault is that?
stability.
That's your fault.
It's
See, the
an
problem is that you're a
operation.
professional victim. I'm you.
Okay. See, now he's already starting off with that, mean spirited, hateful comments and shit like that. He's saying like it's his fault that he has a eating disorder or he felt shamed about it. I mean, that is true to an extent. You shouldn't feel shamed about, you shouldn't care what nobody thinks of you, is how I feel. But
Agree, like
but
looking
let's
at
get
his
into
physique,
it.
like he
It's
did a
too long
perfectly,
video.
I would say, maybe healthy.
No,
Maybe,
Uh,
he's definitely overweight, definitely obese.
I don't agree with that. The crazy part is like half of these niggas, like one, him, I know I know he's using steroids, 100%. And then the nigga before him, I don't know about him. I don't know if he's using steroids. He, just to me, he doesn't look fit, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I feel like I look better than him. He doesn't look that good. I'm just saying. But, for him to call himself fit is kind of crazy to me. When he's fit by standards, I guess. But when it comes to, like, gym standards, he's not really fit, I feel like, at least. And then for them to put him on fit, like at the end of the day, he used steroids at one point, damaged his body and all that, and had drastic, repercussions for that. So would you really call that fit though? You know what I mean? But yeah, we're gonna keep going into it. And the other dude, he's on steroids, so I wouldn't even call it steroid user, fit or abusive
My name's
steroid
John.
user.
I host the
But,
Radical Empathy podcast.
'cause
I
they're
used to
hurting their
direct
body.
episodes of Middle Ground.
They're hurting their body just as much as like they're doing just as much damage to the body as someone who's obese, you could say, because they're putting themselves at health risk just as someone who's overly obese or just obese in general would be putting themselves at health risk. They're doing the same thing in a sense, but yeah.
But I'll now be moderating today's discussion between jacked men and fat men. Our first prompt is, I have felt disgusted looking at a fat body.
Right, so I'm not gonna lie, I've never felt disgusted looking at someone who's fat. You know what I mean? Because that's none of my damn business. Like, okay, you're fat. I may not like that. Like, I personally don't like that, right? But that doesn't make me be like, ugh, like, you look nasty. You know what I mean? Now, if any nigga on here walks forward, I just think they're fucking weird. Because, like, why would it matter how someone else looks to you? You know what I mean? Like, why do you have to be disgusted by the way someone else looks? Like, okay, you don't like them, but you don't gotta feel disgust and disdain in yourself for the way someone else looks to you. Like, what? But let's see who else for it.
Can our agreeers
I
please
guarantee
step
you, He's gonna walk for it. I knew it. I called it.
Whoever feels compelled to start us off.
Well, it's unacceptable to be fat.
Okay.
Oh. How the fuck is it unacceptable to be fat? Like, I'm gonna let him explain, but like, okay, someone's fat, but like, what the fuck does that have to do with you? You know what I mean? Like, someone being fat, what does that have to do with you as a person? Like, it's unacceptable to you. Who gives a fuck, right? They're fat. Ooh, so what? You know what I mean? But let's get into it. Is this your
That's
own
a great
pause?
start. I mean, I know why you say that, but it's one of those things where, do you know why you're saying that?
Yes, because I've been fat before and I lost the weight.
Well, me too. I've been fat my whole life. I've been way skinnier than I am now, and I've been way heavier than I am now. Was I less valuable at one point in there?
Well, I mean, you can make an argument that you're less valuable when you're fatter because you drain resources, but that's a whole other conversation. But
I think that's so fucking stupid. How a human being's life is less valuable because they're fat and they drain more resources. The difference between someone who's a certain body weight compared to an obese person, that difference in the amount of resources they consume, that's so finite and small, like it makes no real fucking difference if we're being honest. You know what I mean? Like especially with the ratio of fat people to like fit people or people that aren't obese in America. You know what I mean? At least America. That's just like that's such a stupid point. Like nigga, you're not less valuable as a person just because you're fat. Like that's stupid.
yeah, I mean, in general, being fat is unacceptable because you control every single morsel of food that goes into your mouth.
Okay.
It shows a lack of discipline. It shows a lack of character. It shows a lack of temperance. And when you're fat, it's an outward manifestation of your inadequacies.
When I see somebody who's 5,
I don't think because someone's fat, they're inadequate in a sense. You could like he makes some decent points sometimes. Like Myron right here, he makes some decent points. Like you could say they are a little, undisciplined, this, that, and the third, for not being able to watch what they eat. You know what I mean? Like, I get that, right? I get that. But at the same time, it's like they're fat. Like, okay, we get it. Like, doesn't mean that they're less of a human being or inadequate. You know what I mean? Like, sure they are causing themselves, detrimental health risk and like really harming themselves in the long run from being obese, you know. But like you never know why someone's in that position, and I bet you he's just gonna put it all in an umbrella term. Like he's gonna categorize all the fat people in like one umbrella. Like, cause like there's some people that are fat because of like actual conditions they have that cause them to be a certain way, and that they have no control over. So, you know, but we'll get into that.
or 600 pounds, all I can think of is why do they care so little about their health that they can do this, allow themselves to gain that much weight, knowing it's taken 20, 30, 40 years off their life? I just can't imagine not wanting to live that badly.
I
I get that. I get that though. Talking about it, they're taking years off their life and all that. That makes sense though. Like, why would you want to live like that? Why would you want to harm yourself like that? And I feel like that applies to people that are fat willingly, that are willingly fat and don't try and control their weight and don't try and like get themselves out of that obesity threshold. I feel like that applies to them, not people with conditions or like they're fat for like or they've been trying to lose weight. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they just need to try harder. You know what I mean? Because it's not possible to lose weight or gain it. You know what I mean? But it's just like I feel like you can only really be like harsh and hard on the people that are like willingly fat and aren't doing anything to get rid of that and happy to be fat and obese. You know what I mean? But yeah.
I understand that. No, it's I've definitely felt disgusted looking at my own body and looking at other fat bodies in my life. A lot of the disgust I felt looking at people was me feeling disgusted with myself and then projecting that feeling onto other people. And I don't think anyone on either side will disagree that health is important. I know that my own mental health was way worse when I was spending every fixate of my life trying to get smaller and trying to be thinner.
I don't think there's anyone that can look at somebody 500, 600, 700 pounds and not think, wow, what have they done? And not be discussed. Like, how can you not? I just can't.
Okay, but now he's talking about these extreme, like almost extreme cases of obesity. You know what I mean? Like 500, 600 pounds. I mean 600, 700 pounds, shit like that, right? That's like okay, no nigga. You know what I mean? But like that, I get that. Like you talking about something for that, cause they're like even with health conditions, I feel like there's no way and no reason why you should weigh that much. You know what I mean? Like if you're that lazy to where you've gained 700 pounds and you're doing nothing about it, you're just that lazy that you put on 700 pounds. Like you seen my 300 pound life or my 500 pound life, or like those shits, those niggas on there, they're like that just because they're lazy. Like majority of the niggas on the my 500 pound life, this and third, they're like that because they just chose to do nothing. They chose to be that way. They chose to sit around all day in bed and be lazy to the point where they need people to come assist them out of bed, to come assist them into a shower. Like that extreme case. Now that there's a problem with that. Those people should be, whatchamacallit, berated and talked shit to, because like you shouldn't have got like that in the first place. But yeah, cause you're gonna kill yourself. You're gonna die soon. You know what I mean? Like your heart can't take all that fat. Your heart can't take all that on your body. You know what I mean?
Can't understand
You can't
nobody
assume that
thinking
everyone
that.
has the same opinion though, because unfortunately, some people have emotional stuff that happened, traumatic stuff that's happened. So you can't discount and just say, "Oh,
Boo-hoo,
because they're
man.
fat."
Boo-hoo, man. Like, there's way worse stuff going on in the world versus
Absolutely.
people saying, "Oh my God, I'm sad. I'm going to eat some ice cream." It's like, no, dude. It's like you're fat. You made that decision. You live in the best country ever. If you live in a civilized first world country where you have electricity, internet power, etc., you deserve to be bullied. It's ridiculous to me.
Okay. Look, right. I do agree he makes good points and all that, because we do, like, niggas that live in America, we live in probably easily one of the best countries in the world. One of the best, not the utmost best. That's argument for another day. But we live in one of the best with the most resources, or a lot of resources. Like everything is available to you. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like people that aren't doing nothing and saying they can't do anything about it just because they aren't doing nothing, there's a problem with that. And then bullying, I feel like in some instances, a little bit of bullying can be good for people, because I used to be bullied for being, small and ugly. You know what I mean? I feel like I've gotten better on both fronts. You know what I mean? So I feel like a little bit of bullying could help, and bullying made me become who I am today. I feel like so maybe a little better, right? But like at the end of the day, like especially if you live in America, but that doesn't apply to all of the obese people, because the most obese country in the world is like an island or something like that. You know what I mean? The place with the most obese people per capita is not even in America. So yeah.
Me that we have all these fat people running around. Meanwhile, people are being bombed in Gaza. It's ridiculous. We are so privileged here in the United States running around. Meanwhile, people are being bombed in Gaza. It's ridiculous. We are so privileged here in the United States and in the West in general. When I see a fat person, I'm like, wow, you got the gift of life. You got the gift of being in a developed country, and you're a fat POS talking about body positivity on TikTok. What the hell is
But
going
now
on
you're
here?
segmenting though, because not everyone thinks like that. What do
No,
you
we
think
need to
like
bring
that?
shaming back.
He's right. He's right. He's
Okay.
right. Hold on. Damn. Took me around to pause that bitch. But he's right. He is segmenting and shit like that, because not all obese people think like that. He's putting them on umbrella, like I said he would. He's putting them on an umbrella, right? Because that's what he likes to do. But right. So it's just like body positivity. I believe in that. As a nigga who used to be really skinny and looked really ugly, I believe in you should feel positively towards your body and want to make a positive change towards it anytime you want to alter it. You know what I mean? There's always room to improve no matter what. Like right now, I have room to improve, right? And it's just that, body positivity, I like it. I like the movement, except for when it positively promotes like unhealthy overweight people. You know what I mean? Like obese people. Like they're like promoting the body of a person who's like in such a high fat deficit that they're gonna die in a few years. I don't think that's a good thing to do. If anything, that's not even a positive. That's like negatively promoting someone's body, because you're promoting someone with severe health risks saying that it's okay to be this way or it's okay to look that way when it's not. You know what I mean? Like promoting like obese people that have serious health risks. I feel like that's the bad side of body positivity. You know what I mean? Cause like, why are you promoting someone that's like has severe health risks at the moment and will have even more in the future? You know?
We need to bring
But I
shaming back in
digress.
so many other regards besides obesity. We need to do it with sluts. We need to shame fat
Jesus.
people. We need to shame everybody when it's fucked up. Because shame has been one of the strongest defenses against degeneracy and human cups.
You had a personal experience you wanted to share. You said you used to be overweight. Now you're
Oh
not.
yeah, so I did an experiment back in like 2015 where I like bulked for like almost 2 years, and I got up to like 250 pounds, and then I dieted down. It took me about 7 months. I systematically did it, control my calories, tracked my macros, tracked my protein, carbs, fats, and systematically lost 1 to 2 pounds per week.
So you chose to gain up to 250.
Yeah,
You
so
were
I've
naturally
been
skinny
on all
before.
spectrums. Like I'm naturally skinny.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna get fat as an experiment.
Yeah.
Did it, and then I was like, all right, now I'm gonna lose the weight. And then all I did was just track my calories, ate the same food every single day.
Yeah.
Went to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, and everything was controlled, and it got done. Was it monotonous? Of course. Was it boring?
No, yeah,
Of
yeah,
course.
I agree with you there. I am naturally this way. This is with working out 4 or 5 times
That's
a week.
not true.
This is 100%
you
true,
can't.
bro.
I don't like how can you assume that it's not true? He's not naturally that way. He didn't naturally become that way. You know what I mean? When you just said you're naturally skinny, this nigga just said he was naturally skinny. So that means that the inverse is also true. That you could also be naturally fat. If he's saying he's naturally skinny, that means that someone can be the inverse of him, which is naturally fat. But yeah,
Bro,
let's get back into
No,
it.
I'm in the gym with
it's
me.
not.
This is me
It's not
working out.
natural at all because at the end of the day, if you don't lose weight, by definition, you're not in a calorie deficit. If you're not in a calorie
Okay, that is true, especially when you're cutting. Right now, I'm on the bulk, so I need to gain weight. But like, if you're cutting, by definition, you have to be losing weight. That's the whole point of cutting. So if you're not losing weight, he is right about that. You're not in a calorie deficit.
deficit, then you're gonna either maintain or gain weight, and that's the problem is that people don't track their calories.
And that's true, but people burn at their resting metabolic rate a different set of calories.
Doesn't matter.
That is true, and fuck what he's talking about. It doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck how accoladed he is in the fitness industry. People people burn a certain amount of calories at a resting rate regardless. You know what I mean? So that matters in the extent. Like you could do stuff to supplement that. Like say you burn less calories than the average person at a resting rate. Like your heart burns less calories at a resting rate. You can do stuff to supplement that. Run more than most people. This, that, and third. Sweat more. All that. Burn those calories out.
Let's not get too granular right now. It's gonna be one of those episodes, right? Let's bring in the disagreeers and hear from them.
Okay, bro. Cut this out. Cut this out.
Okay, so the reason I disagreed, especially when I heard the statement, I don't think I'll ever look at somebody based on their situation and think that I'm disgusted. Like,
See, I'm already liking him. That was a good point. That's what I was saying earlier. I like how he made that point. Like you shouldn't be disgusted by someone else's situation. Like what? That's just super judgmental.
I see somebody that's a drug addict on the street that's homeless, I'm not disgusted by that. If I see somebody that's incredibly overweight, I'm not disgusted by that. Do I think that there's an opportunity for growth? Do I think they've been put in a disadvantageous position that's probably makes it harder for them? Absolutely. I think I'm
See, I like this nigga. I don't know who he is, but I like him. He's making good points. He's like making the same points I'm trying to make. Like this was a fit men versus fat men, right? And I'm more on the fat man side at the moment, or I was. But I like his points he's making.
kind of an empath, so when I see somebody, I know that there's things underlying. And one of my best friends is 400 plus pounds. I've helped him lose 150, 200 pounds. He's gained it back. And I don't look at him and say, I'm disgusted, but I know how bad he wants it. And just seeing how hard he tries and then reverts, it's almost more tough for me than to be like, oh, that's disgusting, you know? And I think there's plenty of people that look at me and say, that's disgusting. I never want to look like that. So, like, I know what it feels.
Exactly. See, I like the points he's making. He's making good points. Like some people could be like, oh, I don't want to look like that, this and third, because he's too big. You know what I mean? Like, because there's like the inverse of people not wanting to look like someone who's too fat. Some people might not want to look like him the way he's just big and brolic, like overly big. Me personally, I would love to look like that. I don't give a fuck. But I'm only 5'10", so I wouldn't, that wouldn't be too good. I would look like a fucking mini pecker, and shit like that.
Feels like on the other side to like look the way I do and get people look at me like, ugh, that's gross to like have that muscle. And to go back to that point, like you came from a fit place and like deciding to bulk, like that's a conscientious decision to gain weight. Like you already have those habit routines and skills in order to stay in shape, and then you use those same skills.
That does make sense, right? He's making a lot of sense because in order to get more weight, you got to eat more than what your body is now accustomed to. So say you're eating like 3,000 calories a day for like a couple weeks, your new like normal like maintaining calorie limit is 3,000. That's your new normal, right? So in order to even gain more weight past that, like the definition of bulking, to like gain more weight past that, you got to eat double or just more than that 3,000 to where you get a new rate. That's your new resting rate for how many calories you're supposed to eat daily, right? So like gaining a lot of weight like that, it is a conscious decision. Like you're doing it consciously because you're consciously eating more food than you say we're eating last month. You're eating way more food daily than you're eating daily last month.
Skills you had to pull back on the calories and knowledge you had.
The reason why I use that example is that you can get fat and lose the weight if you know what you're doing and you have the knowledge and everything else like that. It's just about consistency over time. So it's like I look at it like.
Let me cut you off because here's one thing that you just said.
Yeah.
You had the tools. So there's people that don't have the tools that you've passed judgment on, and you have failed to realize.
That's true to an extent, right? Like some people may not have the tools, but like at the end of the day, it doesn't really take anything to run. So I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. Like you can run, you know what I mean? Run for a little while. You're gonna burn that fat. Eat less, and your heart's gonna burn that fat regardless. It's gonna take longer than running and eating less, but and then like yeah.
Realize that with the tools, people are very much capable of achieving amazing things. But
Okay, let's talk about set
no,
tools.
hold on, I'm not done.
Why you cut me off
I'm
before,
not done.
remember?
And I stood over there and I listened to you, and I was like, it's a ton of bullshit too.
Oh, sure.
But we're gonna address this, right?
Yeah.
You are passing judgment on people who lack the tools to do what it is that they need to do to get themselves to a certain point of health. There are multitudes of factors that weighs into what goes on with somebody's body. There are people that
That's 100% true. Like I said, like I was saying earlier, you can have different, like health conditions. You can have different health conditions and shit that can cause you to be fat. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily just oh, it's not all for everyone. It's not always as simple as just going to the gym, eating less, running, burning the fat, this and third. But for most people, it is. But like also a multitude of people that is not that easy for. You know what I mean? Like there's other factors that come into play. Like also like what if they just can't run? You know what I mean? Like for certain health conditions they've already had prior, like they can't run and shit like that. You know what I mean?
even if they work out, losing the weight does not come as simple as just going to the gym, cutting calories, watching everything that you eat. There are some people that have a disposition. I have a disposition. But does that mean that I'm not active? Does that mean that I'm not doing certain things? No, it doesn't. But you're passing judgment on somebody's body that you know nothing about. Now, on the flip side, what if I turned around and I did the same thing to you? You're talking about how fit and stuff that you are, but you're over there and you're smallest compared to these other guys.
I'm so glad he said that. I am so glad he said that, because nigga, that's just a fact. That nigga is the most unfit person on the fit side. Like, that nigga is just skinny. You know what I mean? He's not even that fit. You know what I mean? Like looking at him and this nigga who goes to the gym daily, like an avid, gym addict and all that, he's not that fit. You know what I mean? He's not fit enough to be naming this podcast motherfucking fresh and fit. I'll tell you that goddamn much. That nigga's not that fit. But
So
Oh,
how
shame
does
is
that feel
fantastic.
if someone
Yeah.
comes? No, because
I,
you said
I,
you
I
said
know,
shame,
but
right?
That's a little.
You said shame, right?
Yeah.
So how does that feel if someone comes up and they start shaming you for size? Like, come on, it goes both ways.
We're just in the first
So,
prompt. We gotta be
here's the
careful
thing.
about targeting each other too directly. You
No, I
definitely.
mean, I'm not offended. It's fine. He's
No,
emotional,
it
and that's
goes in
fine.
every direction.
He's obviously very triggered.
Oh,
But
I'm
yeah,
not
so let's
triggered.
talk about let's hit the first part. Tools. What are the tools? The tools are simply knowledge, which you can get for free on the internet if you have the ability.
That is true. Now that is a point, another point he made that is true, right? But it's just one of those things. Like, it may be the truth, but is it coming out of a mouth that you like? No, did he? Right? Like, he may be speaking the truth, but that nigga's just like a bitch. Like, he's just an asshole. So niggas not gonna fuck with him telling the truth. And we're only 8 minutes in. That's crazy. But fuck it, right? So no, he's just like, ugh. But like, he's telling the truth though. Like the tools per se to losing body weight is just knowledge. Really, it's just knowledge. At the end of the day, like, once you know what you need to do, and then know more about your body and all the properties of your body, it will then become even easier than it was before to lose weight, right? You know what I'm saying? If you find out if you have any underlying health conditions that may stop you from doing certain things that people normally do to lose weight, then that will be, advantageous to you. And now you can still lose weight just like them, but you're going about it a different way. But now you know what way to go about it. That's just how I think.
The discipline and go out there and get the knowledge, then you're going to lose weight. It's just that simple. It's just that people want to always make excuses for why. Oh, my feelings. Oh, I don't know what, you don't know what people are going through, blah, blah, blah. No, you can watch your calories. You can go to the gym. You have time to do it. People just like to make excuses.
I don't think anyone's debating
I
that
don't
weight loss is
necessarily agree with
impossible
that, but
here.
yeah.
I think the question is, why do you hate fat people? That you feel that
100% that is true. Like, just that's true. I agree with that.
disgust towards it.
Well, like I said before, it's a culmination of a bunch of bad decisions. I'm not going to go ahead and give the same level of respect to someone who's a fat ass to someone that has worked really hard and diligently on their physique, because your body's outward manifestations,
There's more
other decisions,
factors to a
your
human
consistency.
being than their body.
Well,
100%. See, I agree with bro on the right, on the fat side, on the far right. Right? There's way more factors than just someone's body, in a sense. You know what I mean? And then, like, you're gonna give less respect to someone, like, off face value just because they're fat. Like, you're gonna give less respect to someone who's fat than to someone who's fit. Like, at the end of the day, those two people have something in common. They're both people. You know what I mean? Like, okay, one doesn't have as much weight as the other. Like, nigga, are you about to fuck that person? Is that why you're giving them less respect? Are you about to have sex with that person? No, you're just giving them, like, that would be the only sense I would get why he as a person would give less respect to other person. You know what I mean? Right? Because he always talks about fat women on his podcast and shit like that. Right? But, like, nigga, just a person, like, just like you, when it comes to just giving respect to a person, you're gonna give less because they're fat. Like, come on now. That's
you could judge a lot just off of someone's physique. You'd be like, okay, well, this guy is lazy, and that's personified through their physique. It's the truth.
Abe, I saw you wanted to say
I
something.
mean, just to take it back to the prompt, I think we just kind of went all over the place there.
Yeah, we're still focusing on the word disgust.
Just the word disgust. I mean, I would never look at someone and show disgust towards them. I mean, I think I would respect, like you said.
especially if it's someone I don't know. Now, if it's a nigga I don't fuck with, yeah, I would show disgust towards them. Like, if I knew that person already and I don't fuck with them, I'm gonna look at them and be disgusted. But, like, off face value, someone I don't know, and I'm looking at their body in general, I'm not gonna be like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna be fucking disgusted by it. That's just extra. Like, that's doing too much.
I mean, you don't respect everyone, like you said, but I think
Respect is earned.
I mean, it is earned, but I mean, I think at a humane level, we can learn to appreciate each other's differences.
Yeah, I don't know if like disgust would be.
See, this nigga right here, this nigga, he gets it. See, I'm with the fat niggas again. I'm with the fat niggas on God.
the right word, right?
I know.
Greg mentioned some health implications with being overweight or obese.
Yeah.
I think being concerned might be a better.
That's the word I was
a
looking
better
for.
word.
Like
But
I can show concern for someone for the way that they.
They're right. Being concerned would be a better word, especially for this prompt. Like, cause in what I feel like what he's about to say, I'm about to pre it, right? I'm about to pre it. He's about to say I can feel concerned for someone without feeling disgust about them, right? And I agree with that wholeheartedly. I can be concerned for you, but I won't be disgusted in you.
They are, but I would never look at someone and say like you're disgusting.
But is it any different than
It's not hard.
if you see somebody who's extremely anorexic, they're 50 pounds, you look at them and you're in shock. Oh my God, like something happens in your body you can't control. You can't stop that.
There
Like
could
how
be a-
can
there
you
could be a
not?
shock
It's not, I don't
factor,
hate
but
them.
that's different
It's just,
from-
wow, oh my God, it's like, it's disgusting. Like, holy good.
That's no. He's not making a good point here. I'm not gonna lie. And I normally fuck with his shit, and then like his persona that he puts on the internet. But that's just not a good point. Like you don't look at someone who's anorexic and like really skinny and just be disgusted with how skinny they are. You know what I mean? It's just a shock. He's talking about like that feeling in your body when you see someone who's quite literally built like a pencil, like really like a pencil, like bones and real skinny and shit like that. You're just like, what the fuck? Like you're in shock, but you're not like, ugh, how's that nigga so skinny? Like what?
Goodness
But
gracious.
why
There's a
would
shock
you
after
use
that.
Especially to someone you don't know. You're not doing this to someone you don't know. Maybe these weird ass niggas are. The nigga at the very end and the nigga, unfit at the very top. Maybe they are, but like someone you don't know, you're not doing that to.
word disgusting,
That's not
right?
disgusting.
So you just mentioned the polar opposite of what we are, right? But why would you look at them and be disgusted versus concerned? That is a very specific word, and it has
These niggas on the fat side are way better at making points and then like really having a real discussion than these niggas are. You know what I'm saying? They're doing us, muscly niggas, fit niggas they're giving us a bad rep. They picked the wrong niggas to represent us. I'm not gonna lie. They should have Sam Sulik on this bitch. Should have had like Trent Twins on this bitch. Something like that. But they picked the wrong niggas. Cause the points these niggas are making are just insane. But the niggas on the other side, they're making really good points. Because why would your first response be disgust than like a concern? You know what I mean?
very specific connotations behind it, and when it's used, it's somewhat weaponized as well.
I don't think we can help how we feel. I don't think I can choose like, oh, I just am not. It would be sitting here and lying. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm always going to be honest with people. I'm disgusted. This is just how I feel.
The thing is, when you see a fat person, the reason why it's disgusting and the reason why there's so much pushback on this whole body positivity and people make fun of Lizzo, rightfully so, by the way, is because it's unattractive, it's unhealthy. Until we had this woke era, they used to put like models and attractive people on the cover of magazines that were in shape. Why? So people can aspire to look like that. And it's healthy and it looks better in general. You look good, feel good. But when you're fat, it says a lot about you. People aren't going to sit there like, let me see if he's a good person. No, they're just going to.
Okay, see. I get what point he's trying to make, right? Especially with that first part. And like putting models and all that, like fit models in magazines and all that, instead of fat ones because you would want to aspire to be like a fit person over, a obese person. But at the same time, like, you can't really be mad at inclusivity, you know what I mean? Inclusivity. Because, like, at the end of the day, without inclusivity, in all aspects, we, wouldn't be allowed to do what we do, you know what I mean? Like, with other, minorities and shit like that and races. Like, we wouldn't be allowed to eat in the same restaurant or at the same table as a white person. You know what I mean? Like if we didn't have inclusivity, you know what I mean? So we can't just cherry pick where we want inclusivity, like like in the workplace or other shit. Like we can't cherry pick where we get inclusivity at. We have to have it at all or at not at all. You know what I mean? Like we need to have inclusivity all around or none at all. And we're choosing an all around because come on now, like for him to be black or part black, I don't know what he is technically. For him to be part black and to be complaining about inclusivity, for him to be part black and complain about inclusivity, it's crazy. He just sounds like a dumbass. But let's get back to it. It's just
Assume that you're lazy, which you are, by the way, when you're fat, and you don't have discipline, which you are, by the way. So they're just going to assume off of what they see. That's the world that we live in.
I love how you stated a ton of assumptions. You didn't state not one fact. You just stated assumptions.
I want to move on to the next prompt, but we're
Can
definitely.
I say one thing? Just one question.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you knew he used to be 600 pounds, and how much do you weigh now?
I'm 384.
And now he's 384. Do you see him as less disgusting knowing he's lost 220 pounds?
No, that's fantastic.
I
But
think yes,
there's still
less.
work to be done. But here's the thing, like I said before, unfortunately, human beings judge a book by its cover. It's just the world that we live in. Fat people, people that identify as 97 genders, whatever, they expect us to change our worldview for them, and that's just not how the world works. Like it's been that way, it's always going to be that way.
Worldview. That's
Are
what I
we-
think that I don't get.
we
It's
gotta,
just the
we
world
gotta
that we're
reset.
in. Like people are gonna,
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
I don't really think they expect us to change our worldview for them. I don't know. Maybe they expect people to change their worldview for people that see them negatively, I guess. But I've never had to change my worldview for no one, because I keep it at, people. Like, no matter what they want to be, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, to me, they're still a person, right? So they still get that level of respect from me. But,
Now let's reset. Jacked men are more attractive than fat men. Will the agreeers please step forward?
jacked men are more attractive than fat men. Yeah. Alright, right. I feel like this is one of those prompts where like there's no yes or no to that, because attractiveness is subjective, you know what I mean? It depends on person to person. Like you can say like, oh, overall girls like this type of man more. Yeah, from whatever subset of women you're pulling from. Maybe they like a certain man more, but there's women out there that like the dad bod, that like, a chubby nigga, that like a big nigga. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you really can't pick a yes or no to this, because it all depends. It's a person on person type case. You know what I mean? It all depends on more factors than just their body. But there's some people who don't like fit people and like fat people more, so they have something to, grip onto, snuggle up on. You know what I mean? Like a damn teddy bear. So I don't really feel like this is a good prompt. It's like,
How come there's 4 guys over there? All right, so we're living in a bizarre world where people don't see the truth. Like, how is it possible that they're thinking, being obese and unhealthy is more attractive than being fit and healthy? How is this possible?
because people have different, types of things they're attracted to. Like, the fact that that's not clicking in their head and they all just walked over there is crazy. I want to see if anyone says it though.
Possible.
Actually, you know what? This is precisely why a majority of women find a majority of men as unattractive. Because a lot of guys think this way, oh, I just be a nice guy and girls are going to like me. No, they're not. She's not going to suck your dick with the same velocity when you're a fat as when you're in shape. She's just not. See, people don't understand that women are aroused by one thing.
See, it's like just the way this nigga says things that piss people off so much. Like the way he talks about certain groups of people and just the way he talks. Like, I don't know. I just personally don't fuck with it. But yeah.
Attracted by another thing. Women are attracted to, a guy that's confident, ambitious, makes money, etc. Of course, right? But they're aroused by guys that have asshole tendencies, dark triad traits, etc., and guys that are physically in shape. So if you want to get
There is more factors to attraction than just somebody's looks. You know what I mean? Like, some girls are more attracted to a nigga's pockets than their looks. Like, they don't give a fuck about their looks. They care about how attractive their pockets look. How much weight their name carries. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you can't just base this off of one level of attraction. You know what I mean? Like, there's multiple levels to it. So, like, there's all types of different, factors that can come into play that could definitely make a fat man more attractive than a fit man to girls. You know what I mean? Like, and then, the inverse is also true. You know what I mean? But, like, I don't know. I just feel like this is like, you really can't put a yes or no on this prompt. You know what I mean? Like, there's no right answer to this.
best of your woman, where she respects and admires you, while simultaneously being aroused by you so she doesn't cheat on you, you need to have it all.
You're saying that's true for all women?
A majority, a staggering majority of women.
There might be 1% of the world that there's something wrong with them that might think that, yeah, you're 600 pounds, it's so hot, I love that, but
The hot
See, he keeps going to the extremist versions of this shit. We're talking about niggas that are like 300 plus. You know what I mean? Like, some of those niggas over there are 300 plus, and they don't look, too crazy. You know what I mean? Right? He's talking about the very utmost extreme of this, argument about fat versus fit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, of course, there might be even less people that find a 600-pound man attractive. But there's also probably a lot of girls out there that find niggas his weight and body build and shape like that super unattractive as well. You know what I mean? And then overall, I just don't think this nigga's attractive to anyone. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think he's fucking attractive.
Girls that you actually
No Diddy. But yeah.
want, they exercise their hypergamy to the highest degree, and they want guys that are fit and have their money together, have their life together.
You're looking at me like you want to say something.
Yeah, because the question was, are Jack men more attractive? We all walked over. Are we more attracted to Jack men?
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming they framed that because we're all guys here they mean women.
Well, men can be attracted to
If
men.
I had to switch teams, I'm going with the Jack guy.
Obviously, this is going to be like personal biases, but I think attraction is very.
Let's go back. I know y'all heard that.
They mean women.
Well, men can be attracted to
If
men.
I had to switch teams, I'm going with the Jack guy.
No Diddy, nigga. What do you mean by if you had to switch teams, you going with the Jack guy? That wasn't the question. Niggas didn't ask you if you had to change genders, who would you pick? You just offered up that information. If you had to switch teams, no one was pondering that if you wanted to switch teams or not. You gave that up willingly. No one asked for it either. No Diddy, nigga. Something's wrong with you.
Obviously, this is going to be like personal biases, but I think attraction is very fluid in the sense that I can 100% admit, like, there was probably 40 pounds of muscle ago is when most women would be like attracted to me. Of course, like fitness girls, they're totally okay with the size I am, but like probably most girls, I'm like too much for. So I guess like where do we?
See, he gets it. I'm glad he gets it. He understands. He's more based in realism than half the niggas on his team are. I'm not gonna lie. He can understand that. I like that about him.
Draw that line of like, I think, for example, like you would be much more attractive to most women than me. Would you agree with that?
Fuck no. This nigga's ugly. They may be attracted to how much money he's got, but like, come on now. The nigga's ugly as fuck. But like, then again, the fact that he has money will make him more attractive, so. If he has more money than him, then maybe, but if we're talking about all the look to look, fuck no.
I mean, that doesn't mean that, like, if you walked up to a girl, and let's say you're not her, like, you're a little bit more muscular than she would, like, if you have the charm and charisma, she gonna still go with you, man. It don't matter.
I have an interesting point.
We have heard so little from this nigga. This nigga has not spoken. This nigga has not given his worldview or point in, like, a hot minute since this bitch has started. So, maybe it would change, but, like, this nigga is just quiet as damn church mouse.
And no shade on you, but I think if you had Zach, right, you're on the end?
Yep.
If you put Zach and Greg and you put them next to each other and you did a poll, I think that most women would probably pick him if you had to, like, because he's got the height and all that. What would you guys say to that?
No.
No. Well, we can put it to the test.
But that's not really fair. I'm 48 years old. He's a lot younger than me. He's about a foot taller than me, but you can't compare. I'm an old man. I'm 40.
I mean, that is like comparing apples to oranges, I guess. I mean, yeah, but some bitches like, older niggas. So, I don't know why he's selling himself short. He can still pull, I guarantee you. You know what I mean? Because he's old and he's fit. You know what I mean? Like, this is like me kind of like drifting to their side for this specific point right here. But, like, I don't know. He could seem more attractive to people. Some people like a dad. You know what I mean? Like a DILF. But, no Diddy.
8 years old.
Like, obviously, height is a big component. So that so it's not you're comparing apples to oranges. But if you take the same guy, same height, etc., but one guy is fat, one.
This nigga stole my shit. You would think I already watched this bitch. This is the way this nigga's stealing lines straight out of my damn mouth.
Guy's in good shape, she's always gonna go with the guy that's in better shape.
Because I've been so surprised to see on Instagram, there'll be like guys doing like an outfit try on, like not in shape in the slightest bit, and all the comments are women like, I wish like men knew this is how we wish they looked, and like, oh, this is like the dream.
Media.
See, this nigga gets me. This nigga gets it. This nigga's based in realism. There are a lot of women out there that don't like fit niggas, that don't like in shape niggas. You know what I mean? Some women just like a little chunky, little meat on their bones, like extra meat on their bones. You know what I mean? Like some women don't like, all muscular, jacked up niggas for a multitude of reasons. But there's a large group of women out there that just don't like fit niggas, and they're living in delusional world, or like what the old nigga Greg said, bizarro world. They're the ones living in it for thinking 100%, all majority of women, like 99%, are gonna pick them over any of the niggas over there. Like, come on now. Especially if they hear the way these niggas talk on the day to day, they're gonna pick these niggas, not him, not him. They're gonna pick these niggas. They're not gonna pick the fit niggas.
Myers,
To look
the
good
one thing
for
about
clout.
you can never believe what women say, man. You believe how they.
This is. Hold on, let him finish his point.
Not what they
That's
say.
a different episode.
See, like, come on now. That's his whole stick though. That's his whole niche. Just dissing women, degrading women for views. You know what I mean? Because niggas, certain sad niggas that don't feel good about themselves, like to and like that got hurt by a woman, so now they like feel a type of way towards all women, and then like are real salty towards all women. They like him. They like this nigga strictly because he just degrades and tries to like diminishes and demean women on his like podcast, and he'll get loud with women, but like when niggas come on that bitch, they're not getting loud. Like you don't see him getting loud and yelling at any of these dudes for cutting him off, but nigga, I'm gonna put a video in, but he'll blow up at a bitch cutting him off. Oh my god, on his own show. If you see a girl cut him off on his own show, this nigga will get loud. But he's not getting loud with any of these niggas cutting him off, even though it's not his show. He's not getting loud with any of these niggas.
Alright, bring it on in.
So far,
Yeah.
at least.
I disagreed mostly just with the blanket statement because attraction is so subjective.
You would think I already watched it. You would think I already fucking watched this shit. But this is my first time seeing it. And it's just like, this nigga's taking words straight out of my damn mouth. I'm like that. But at the end of the day, he's right. See, this is why I fuck with the fat nigga side more. You know what I mean? I might need to gain some weight after this bitch. But yeah.
I am a big and tall model by trade. That's what I do. I model clothing brands. I've modeled with major fashion houses. I've been on the covers of magazines. You mentioned before dad bod comments and whatnot on social media. I was flabbergasted when I started how many people were commenting and DMing me and talking about how attractive I was. That it just kind of, I don't know, showed me that attraction is a lot more subjective than I thought, and people have a much wider range of what they
What did I say, my nigga?
find attractive than specifically a body type.
Is being jacked the most important trait for being attractive? I'd argue for guys, it'd probably be otherwise, right? I think height would be a very
Money,
Yeah.
height, fame, like what can you bring to the table?
The number one thing is status. By far, status.
People also go after what they think that
At least he gets that.
they can get. So if this guy is 6'5" and extremely attractive, and it's like, well, I can't get that guy. I'm attracted to the 10 on 10 supermodel, but I'm not going to get her, so I'll be happy with the 9.9 on 10.
Just to be clear, are we speaking about women being attracted to men?
Ah, damn, I should turn on subtitles. My fault, y'all.
It's not just about women. It's just about attraction. What is the most attractive, in your opinion,
Okay.
physique for a man?
Okay, I'm speaking from like what women find attractive. So when I speak, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'm
anybody.
sexually fluid. So my law of attraction does not adhere to anyone's standards, pretty much. I'm attracted to people in general. So you could be jacked, you could be more plus size, you could be skinny, you could be whatever it is that you are. If I'm attracted to you, I'm attracted to you.
What are the traits you find most attractive?
I think the way that you carry yourself is a really big thing for me. I can't date someone who lacks confidence because I feel like that seeps
I like
into
that.
other aspects of your life.
Do you mind if I jump in on the confidence thing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So growing up, wasn't too confident in myself, and I gained that confidence when I started losing weight. And I noticed it was me putting myself in positions to get more opportunities with women. Right now, I'm single right now, but I'm doing okay. But the confidence came from me losing weight. So I do agree that it's a subjective kind of standpoint, but socially, I understand that physically fit men. That's just like what everyone's liking. It's like,
I don't
this
think it's as
what you choice.
subjective as guys are trying to say.
See, this nigga selling. Like, you're putting your team down, nigga. You're on the fit team. Nigga, no, that's just not true. Like, majority, like, there's not a majority in this argument. You know what I mean? Like, the women are gonna like what they like. Not every woman, and not even a majority of women, are just gonna like fit dudes. They're gonna look for different qualities than just body type. Like, it's not a majority of women out there looking for body type as the number one quality. You know what I mean? Cause you see a girl with an ugly dude all the damn time, unfit, ugly dude all the time. Why do you think that is? They're not, cause they weren't looking at them for their body.
Hey, attraction isn't a choice, and there are hardwired traits that women look for in men. And what I've come to realize is that what women put out there is what they find attractive or politically correct things. Oh, he's a dad bod. He's nice. He's a good guy. The reality is that women don't respond well and favorably to these men. There's a reason why nice guys finish last is a thing. It's because when you're too nice and you kind of bend to her will, etc., girls aren't aroused by that. Girls don't want to say what they're really aroused by because that.
I don't technically agree with that. At least, like, girls don't like when dudes bend to their will often and too easily. You know what I mean? Like, some girls do like that shit. Some girls like to be the dominant one in the relationship. You know what I mean? So it's not like you can, like, just put a majority statement on that. But, like, I don't know, the way my upbringing and how I was brought up and shit like that, and then the positions I put myself in, I do feel like submitting to someone's will, like, heavily, or even someone submitting to my will, is a little, crazy. You know what I mean? I personally don't do it. I don't allow myself to get pushed over in any, sense of the word. You know what I mean? By anybody, whether that be family or, people, my partner. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't personally do it, but I know people that do it, and they like that, and they've had a very long standing relationship because it's been like that. The woman's been the head of the household or in charge.
Are able to stand up to them, guys that are able to tell them, well, that was a stupid comment, or hold them accountable for their stupidity when they do dumb things. This is what women find attractive because these are leadership traits.
Have any of those things happened to you, though?
Well, I mean,
Some women do like a leader, but some don't. You gotta understand that some just don't. And it's not a, majority thing. Yet again, it's not a majority thing because, like, some will and some don't. It's more like a 50-50 thing, really. But yeah.
I've talked to almost 3,000 women, and what I've come to realize from talking to all of them.
I hope he's talking about, like, podcast wise, like, women he has on his podcast, because, nigga, you're not. I refuse to believe this nigga right here has been in, relationships with up to 3,000 women. You know what I mean? I'm assuming he just means speaking. Because there's no way in hell, and if that is the case, he's been in relationships with 3,000 women, like, in, like, any type of, situationship, any of that, that's not really a flex at all. Because it's like, damn, you couldn't find the right one out of 3,000? Nigga, you're cooked.
Is that most of the time, when they're in a conversation on TikTok, like, you're so handsome, blah, blah, blah. Will they actually go on a date and have sex with that guy? Probably not. But they say that because it's politically correct, and women tend to not want to.
You just don't know that. You don't know if they will or if they will or if they won't. You just don't know that. But okay.
Be adversarial. They're gonna say what sounds good, or what they're actually not about. Two different things.
But they're married to those guys.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was
Most
getting to.
often they're married
I'm
to
married.
And marriage is a failed institution in the world.
Bro, nigga. They're cooking his ass, but, like, does he like being wrong? I just don't get it.
West, and this is why most men get divorced by women. This is why they get destroyed in the divorce courts. This is why women overwhelmingly initiate the divorce rates in America. 80% are initiated by women because we sit here and we lie and we believe what women say they're actually attracted to.
Let's go back to attraction for a second, though, because I'm married. Sure, I have a child.
Cool.
I have a beautiful wife.
Mm-hmm.
I was this size the entire process through.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that you're an average guy?
I would say that I'm bigger than average.
Yeah, you're not an average guy.
And a model
You're not an average
for
guy.
being slightly
I
overweight.
wasn't a model when I started
But
dating
you're
my
a
wife.
very good-looking,
I was
tall,
a
big
bartender
guy
who's doing
on
whatever.
magazine covers. So out of the million guys overweight, you're
But
at
you're
the
not
top.
an average guy.
Well,
So
I
what
think
I'm
what you're
saying
missing is he just said that he wasn't any of those things.
He's not 5'6",
before
man, like
he
me.
met his
Or being
wife.
5'6" and doing
No,
it.
I totally agree with you. Well, that's what I was gonna actually agree with.
That goes back to the fact that there's multiple factors and attractive levels. You know what I mean? He's talking about, oh, he couldn't do any of that and get married and be fat if he was 5'6". He couldn't be 5'6" and fat. And Greg is trying to say he had to be very fit because he's only 5'6", so he had to be very fit. He had no other option, which is just not true yet again. But I'm gonna just let Greg go off on this bullshit. I used to fuck with Greg. I mean, I still do fuck with Greg, but like Greg's not doing well in this. I'm not gonna lie, he's just not doing well. But I fuck with Greg. I don't fuck with this nigga.
Believe it or not. We were talking about, you mentioned status, and then a lot of people other mentioned confidence. So you even put it in your own pecking order ahead of being jacked or being physically attractive. Wouldn't you say that matters more? Confidence, how you carry yourself, how you
I mean, the problem is simply, is it either you're jacked or
I'm not
what's more
arguing the
attractive?
fact that our society definitely finds jack guys more attractive, but I disagree with the statement because it was a blanket statement.
I don't know. I disagree with the fact that our society finds Jack guys more effective. I feel like it is a blanket statement. I don't know if that's the blanket statement he's referring to, but like I don't know as society like whole and norm, because not everyone is jacked, not everyone is fit. There's only like a small percentage of people that can even lift a certain amount of weights or that go to the gym a certain amount of times a day or even run a certain amount of times a week is what I mean. A certain amount of times a week, lift a certain amount of times a week. So I don't think society is attracted to more fit people because there's not that many fit people in society. You know what I mean? Like there's not an overwhelming number. But
That I have found untrue in my own life.
Do you, all of you,
best believe I'm in that small division though. I'll tell you that much. I'm part of that division. So let's get back to it.
do you feel like you'd be more or less attractive, let's say 50 pounds lighter than you are in simply like just body fat?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that I struggled with for a while is in me losing weight, am I still going to be able to book the jobs that I book? Because I've built an entire brand off of my body. I mean, granted, like,
Okay, so I was wrong. So half of the fat people are also influencers. They did bring influencers for this whole Jubilee discussion, which I don't get. I don't know why they did that because they all have their own agendas and shit like that. They all have their own reason to say things the harsh way they say it and stuff like that. So I don't think that was a good move bringing them on there. But I guarantee you it brought them views.
cool as shit. Like, I did something that's all my own. Like, I worked on that. But then I was also just like, if I lose this, are you still going to want me to, like, do this campaign for you? Are you still going to want me in your magazine? Are you still going to want to dress me? And then I had to, like, take a step back and say, like, well, what is it for me? Do I want to be skinny? No. Do I want to look like Greg? No. Do I want to look like Myron? No. But I know I want to look like me. I think talking about the law of attraction, you focus so heavy about what women would find attractive and the perspective of the woman. And I feel like, are you even attracted to yourself? When you look in...
That nigga's spitting, I'm not gonna lie to you. But at the end of the day, we really can't base it off a woman's perspective. They've been trying to do that this whole video, at least the fit niggas have. When you're not a woman yourself, you may talk to a lot, but you don't truly know each and every woman's perspective when it comes to men body types. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's more for a woman to say. Like a guy wouldn't fully be able to know.
in that mirror, when you put your clothes on, are you like, damn, like, I did that? Because when I got up this morning and I threw on my outfit, I was just like, yeah, I ate that.
Well, if you're going to talk about being attractive, etc., typically people are speaking from a romantic sense, from a heterosexual standpoint of men and women. So that's why I answered the question, because it was very broad. That's what I mean. But of course, you need to be able to look at the mirror and respect the man that you see looking back at you. When you look back and you see the guy and you're in shape, etc., and you feel good.
At least he can agree with that point. That's one of the only points he's ever agreed with. At least he can agree with that point.
About yourself, look good, feel good. A byproduct of that is that women just tend to find you more attractive. It all works together in tandem.
Are you happy with the way you look?
Of course. But I had to work to build this physique, and it took many years. I was an athlete in college, I was a Division I athlete. It took many years to be able to do this. So
What'd you play?
I rode in college. Cool.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I like rowing.
So I think when fat people look in the mirror and they say, "Oh, I like that," that's coke, man. No, you don't. They say that to try to bring themselves up, but the reality is, most of the time when you're fat, you
How the fuck you gonna tell a nigga why he doesn't or doesn't like if the nigga's fat, maybe he likes being fat. You never know.
look in the mirror, you're like, "Damn, I really let myself go."
Not every
You're like,
fat
you know
person-
what? It's not that much of a priority, so fuck it.
Abe didn't get to answer the question going around.
Yeah, I was in the same boat as you just because I feel like I don't agree with the blanket statement. Personally, for myself as a gay man, I find myself attractive. I would say like I go for guys like you as well, and I feel like I get a lot of hits on those types of guys, and I'm like
That nigga bit his lip. No, y'all see that? That nigga bit his lip after he said that. You think about fucking him. I'll tell you that much. he might not be straight. He definitely bit his lip after another, homosexual man just hit on him. So,
I'm pretty content with how I navigate my attraction, and I think it goes a lot to the status and their confidence. So, like you said, so.
All right, let's go to the next prompt. The body positivity movement is problematic. Will he agree or step forward?
they're saying is the body positivity movement problematic to an extent. Okay, to an extent, it may be problematic when it comes to promoting obese people that are like clinically overweight and that are like putting themselves in severe health risk. Yeah, that's when it becomes problematic. But we're just talking about people that aren't in health risk. You know what I mean? They're promoting people that maybe a little fat, but they're not at severe health risk and shit like that, right? Then it's not really problematic. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody should be comfortable in their bodies as long as they're healthy. Like there's a difference between being, unhealthy and healthy. So as long as they're healthy, you should be promoting your body positively. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. Like, do you. Like I feel like everybody's entitled to doing their own little thing. If you want to promote your body, no matter what size you are, if you want to promote it, you want to promote it. But like of course niggas like them, they're gonna disagree if it's not, fit, like low body fat, all that. But yeah.
Well, I think where it becomes a problem is obviously you should be comfortable in your body, and if you genuinely love how you look, great, but you can't ignore your health. Being someone who's overweight, I've been fortunate enough not to have any extreme complications other than like, knee pain and stuff like that. But I know people that.
See? And he's at one of those body fats where he doesn't have insane, health risks. Just, a couple knee pain and just pain in certain joints probably from all the weight. You know what I mean? But it's like he doesn't have any crazy, heart conditions and shit like that because of his fat. You know what I mean? Because he's one of those fats that's not, insanely unhealthy. That detrimental to his health, unhealthy.
That are my size or bigger, and they have cholesterol problems, heart problems, diabetes. I have none of that. So the body positivity movement becomes a problem when you hide behind the shield of, oh, I should love my body, da 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 da. Great, but you have to be healthy too. You can't ignore your vitals. You got
Exactly. You should love your body at the end of the day. 100% you should love your body because it's the only one you got, right? But like, it should also be a healthy one. Like, you should be loving it and making sure it's healthy. Like, if you truly love your body enough to post it and talk about body positivity and all that, you should be making sure it's as healthy as it possibly can be. You know what I mean? But yeah.
to like check yourself on the inside.
Yeah, I think the big thing is you have to separate the health implication with you just being confident, right? Like, I'm all for people to feel confident in their own skin. I think body positivity movement has been beneficial for plus size people in that regard, right? Because let's say there's a plus size person who's too embarrassed to go to the gym because they feel like they're gonna be judged, whatever it is. But it's because of body positivity. They're like, oh, hey, I see other plus size people in the gym. Maybe I'm gonna give it a try. And also,
That's a good point he made. That's a really good point because we do need that type of movement for people like that are nervous to come into the gym because they feel like they're too fat to be in a gym around fit people when that's just not the case. Especially depending on what gym you go to, most people in there aren't gonna be that fit. You know what I mean? And then like you should feel super comfortable in your body enough to come to a gym because the gym's always gonna be very inviting place. I've met some of the most friendliest people I know in the gym because that's where friendly people congregate at. Gym people are just naturally friendly. Like they're always you always hear the term gym bro and shit like that because like in the gym it's like a damn brotherhood. Like we're really nice and friendly to each other and cordial because we're just like that. Like we like being nice to each other because it's just a nice environment to be in at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So yeah, you should never feel like you're too, like your body doesn't look good enough to go to the gym because people are going to the gym to make their body look a type of way. That's where they're working on it at. So no one gives a damn how you look when you come in to work. You know what I mean? Like the people care more about the fact that you're there. Like people are happy to see that people are there. You know what I mean? Like that's good for you if you're going to the gym. You know what I mean? It's good that you're going.
Suddenly they start going with it. Oh man, I like this, right? And they keep it going. You can argue that without body positivity, maybe that day would have never happened for that person, right? But I think the problematic part really comes down to people extrapolating body positivity, shaming a celebrity like let's say Adele for losing weight, right? That's where I would kind of draw the line there.
Well, promoting Lizzo. Making fun of Adele for losing weight, but promoting Lizzo for being a fat. It's unacceptable.
Okay. He is. They're right. You know, they're right in this sense. They are right. Like I hate to give it to him, but I'm gonna have to give it to him because I just really don't fuck with this nigga and the way he speaks about people to people, shit like that. Fuck him, right? But like I agree with that point. That's a good point he made. That promoting Lizzo for being dangerously obese and then berating and trying to demean Adele and being mean to her for losing weight. You know what I mean? Like, why are you dissing Adele for losing weight? Like, what? That's just like, it should really be the inverse. But, to each his own. But it's just like, what Adele's doing is really good for her. Like, she's doing her body a justice. But yeah.
Acceptable.
Do we feel are a lot of people doing that?
I think the thing around Lizzo is it's not just the weight, it's the lifestyle. You like see her drinking all the time and partying and not sleeping. There's like so little to do with health. It's not just she's promoting like loving yourself, which I think is great. She's promoting a lifestyle that is unhealthy, like being very overweight, drinking, not sleeping. All of these things are not conducive to your health. So I think you conflate that.
See, now they're finally making some fucking good points. They're finally making good points about time. But, at least they're doing it now. Like, it took them, shit forever. But, hey.
And sure, being body positive is important, like loving yourself, loving the way you look. But if that's going to influence other people to make bad decisions about their body and their health, that's problematic.
Body positivity is disempowering people. It's making them think that they're healthy at any size, which they're not. And so as soon as you start telling people, hey, just love your body, like Lizzo literally rubbed her belly and said, you're giving me all this power as she's eating a burger and she's promoting being obese. By doing this, you're just ruining it for people who actually should think, wait a minute, I can lose weight. I can go to the gym. I can eat less. I can do this.
Personally, my problem with body positivity isn't necessarily what it stands for, and I feel like there's a misconception because there are those people that they use it to justify fatness and just I don't even want to say fatness. I want to make it very clear unhealthiness because there's someone like me who I wouldn't say.
I do agree that there is a difference between unhealthiness and fatness. Like Lizzo, I do agree is probably promoting more on the side of promoting unhealthiness. You know what I mean? Not just fatness. She's promoting unhealthiness. Like all those points they brought up about how she like does this and that and the third and is overweight, like dangerously overweight, but also doing very bad things for people that could be bad for people that aren't even overweight. It's just bad to promote in general. You know what I mean? But people gonna fuck with it regardless because it's Lizzo. So, but yeah.
Say I'm necessarily part of the body positive community anymore. Personally, I would say I champion body diversity because it's all encompassing. It's inclusive of what everybody, is doing within their journey. When I express the desire to lose weight, another plus size individual that I used to be friends with was just like, well, I don't feel like I can share your content because I'm not sure how my followers are going to perceive this. I think it might be triggering for them and stuff like that. And my response to it was, well, if you're championing body positivity, then what I'm doing should not be a problem, because the entire time that I've been advocating for people that look like me or people who have been othered in any capacity in general is that all bodies are good bodies. What we do with our body is what matters. And so body
That's fair. That's true, and that's fair.
diversity is important to me because for a guy like you or a guy like the two of you might suffer from body dysmorphia. And that's a very real thing. You might not see yourself for what you really are. And so you're seeking unhealthy habits to achieve a goal. To get where you want to go, like you just got to give it time. Be healthy in it in all aspects, like mentally, physically. You've got to find the right avenue to do what it is that you need to do for yourself.
The body positivity movement is a huge psyop to keep us fatter and stupider. It's all a scam. The reality is that.
And then this nigga just fucking comes in with just bullshit. Like, these niggas having a good, intelligent disagreement and intelligent, back to back, back and forth argument, right? And then he just come in with that just hateful rhetoric because he thinks he's funny or some shit, or his viewers like it. Like, these niggas are fucking laughing at him. These niggas are literally laughing at him because it's just like, nigga, you're like, I just don't like. It's like the way he says shit. Like, he's trying to say it in the most harsh and harmful way to like piss a lot of people off, to drive up his engagement, I guess. But I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work. But like, he's off of YouTube, so how well is it gonna work for him? Who knows?
Big Pharma wants money, and they understand that when you're fat, you have more health problems. They understand that you're going to need insulin, you're going to need medication, etc. And they make a bunch of money on us being sick. There is no incentive to actually have you be healthy. So let's go ahead and make our people fat as hell, get them in the hospitals, get them on medication, continue to make money, etc. It's all a big psyop.
So you believe it's all intentional?
Yes. We promote mediocrity.
I feel like it's a subset. Yes, I'm sitting here because I do think that there is a part of it that is problematic. But I think that the problematic part of it is a subset of people that use it as a tool to weaponize whatever it is that they're doing.
I think the whole movement is a problem. The body positivity movement in general is a problem. All of it.
So you shouldn't feel positive even about your own, like for you. It's for instance.
Well,
like,
I think if you haven't earned, here's the thing: being happy and content with yourself, it's not given; it's earned. You have to go out there, work, and then you're going to feel that satisfaction. Like
You don't have to do anything to be happy and content with yourself. You can just be it. You know what I mean? You don't have to earn it. Like, who is this nigga to decide who earns what and how they earn it about their body? You know what I mean? Like, if a nigga feels like he should be happy and content about his body, even though someone else feels like they shouldn't, who gives a fuck? He should. You know what I mean? Like, allow him to do what he wants to do. It's none of your damn business. That's all I gotta say.
earn that. That
So
feels good.
at what point do you earn it, though?
When you can look back in the mirror and actually, genuinely, not coping, respect the man that you see before you. And the reality is, people are going to realize that you're going to need to achieve a certain physique because you have all these fat people. I love my body. No, you don't. It's a lie, dude. You're just coping. You're lying to yourself, and that.
How do you know they don't? Like, what? How do you know 100% that they don't and that they're lying? That nigga's just assuming because he thinks he's right. He thinks he's always right. You know what I mean? Like, that's so fucking stupid.
All these people on Instagram and TikTok with the body positivity movement are lying to themselves. They're not happy where they want to be. They just accept that because they're too lazy to make a change.
No, but I genuinely do love my body.
Right now, as you are?
Yeah.
Then why are you going to the
And
gym?
I'll explain to you.
Then why are you going to the
I
gym?
will explain it to you. I love everything that my body is capable of doing. I love the fact that at my size, I can do a lot of things that other people smaller than me still cannot do.
But you want to lose weight, though.
And yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Which is good.
I want to lose weight because I love my body, but I have one body. Why would I not love it?
Yeah.
And because I love my
But you
body
understand
is
that your
why
body
I'm
now needs to be
looking to
changed.
make changes.
Yeah,
Right?
make changes.
But to say that loving your body is BS, no, you make changes, you make healthy changes to yourself because you love yourself. All of that time that I'm putting in, the work, the money that I'm spending, that's a labor of love because I love myself enough to know that I want to make some changes to live a better lifestyle in the sense of I can just do a little bit more.
All right, let's bring in our.
Mm, like, that was just so stupid to me how he said, like, oh, you can't really love your body if you're going to the gym to make, like, you can still, he could love his body and go to the gym. You know what I mean? Like, he could love his body and be like, oh, but let me, add to it. Let me do something for it. Like, I love my body now. Like, right now, I love my body. You know what I mean? Like, I love my body. But, like, I'm still going to the gym, 5 to 6 days out of the week, right? Just because I know I want to do even more. Like, I love where it's at now. But, like, I'm always looking to improve things. Like, in every aspect of my life. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And then, yeah, I'm going to just let it play for a little longer.
Our disagreeers.
So there's not a single problem.
Oh no, I'm not saying there's not a single problem. To me, body positivity is more about bodily autonomy. Like you were mentioning wanting to lose weight. My whole thing is like, yeah, it's your body. Do whatever you want with it. I don't think I, as a human being, have a right to tell any of you what to do with your bodies. But
And like you said, it's your body, and you have a right to do what you want with it. So speaking of, doing what you want with it and things like that, you should hit the subscribe button with it. You know what I mean? You should hit the subscribe button with it. Because this is the end, part one. This is the end of part one. This is my first, long form content YouTube video. You know what I mean? And I'm going to drop part two probably a couple hours after. Or the next day even, whenever this drops. But yeah, so this is the end of part one. So I think, if you've enjoyed the video, enjoyed the topics we were talking about alongside Jubilee, you should, like and subscribe, hit that little subscribe button, hit a like on it. I plan on dropping different content too. I plan on dropping plan on doing like a last to leave the, or last to get knocked out the circle, like sumo and like big ass sumo suits type shit, like a little in person, a little video, little activity video. I plan on dropping that in a week or two after I hit 500. But yeah, no, I'm gonna drop part two to this in a little bit after that. Edit this. It's gonna be my first time editing and everything. So y'all should sub up to join the process and shit and see part two. Sub up, put notifications on, all of that. And you should also, I'm gonna have the Twitch link in bio too if you wanna watch me react to things and give my take on things, in person and live and all that. So, join the Twitch, same name as YouTube. I'm gonna put the link there, but it's DJ Yaps, just like the YouTube and all that. And I'm gonna see you all in part two.